screen, we have our normal function, the regular functions from the ES5. So here are our normal functions. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna turn these normal functions into arrow functions. So let's start with the first function right here on top. Okay. So when you're writing arrow functions, we first have to declare it as a variable. So we use the name let, and then here the variable that we want to declare is append. So we say let append equals. The reason why we're no longer writing the function, function append, is because the let is going to do like the job for us, because we're not declaring it as a variable. So on the first function here, we have our parameters a and b. So I'm just gonna write that here. Let append is equals to a and b, and then we put our arrow function. Sorry about that. And then after we put this arrow function, we have to tell the browser or the console what to do. We want it to add a and b. So this thing right here on top, this is the same thing as this. So yeah, if we try to add our function, the one on top, let me comment this one out. We will try to add this one on top here. We have to write append, or let's just say 4 and 5. And as you can see in our console, oh sorry, it's running a similar function that I have here at the bottom. Let me comment this one out. We'll come back to it. Okay, so on our first function here, console.log, as you can see, it giving us 9 from the first function that we have, the ES5 function. If we change this, for example, to 3, it's supposed to give us 8 right here, giving us 8 right here on the console. If we now come here to our arrow function, the one that we created, you can see the same thing, that if we just write append, console.log, then write append 5 and 3, so that you guys see that the answer which is going to show up in the console is not coming from the first function. I'm just going to comment it out, and then you're left with this one, the second function. If you run it again, it's going to give us 8 in the console. If we change the first number to 3, instead of 5, it's supposed to give us 6. You see 6 right here on the console. So the same thing which is here on top, is the same thing which is here at the bottom. So this was our first function. So there's 2 ways to write this. There's 2 ways to write these functions in Visual Studio Code or in any code editor that you'll be using. There's the short syntax method, that's the one you just used, and then there's the block syntax method. Okay, so right now let me do the block syntax method for you so you can see both of them. Okay, just going to write the block syntax. Let append, just the same thing here, a and b, our parameters. Then after that, put our equal sign, and then we'll put curly brackets to say return a plus b. Okay, so this is the block syntax. Sorry about that. Commented my whole code. There's the block syntax, and then this one here on top. This is the short syntax. Okay, so you can see there's a little bit of a difference here. The ES5 function, the ES6 arrow function, the ES6 arrow function, but there's the short syntax and the block syntax. But I would recommend that whenever you're writing code, use the short syntax. It looks really clean and really nice. Even if you come back to your code and try to read it 5 to 8 months later, you can still understand what you're trying to do. But it still bring the same answer. If you come here at the bottom, if you say console.log append, just give it a 2 by 2, and you can comment the code on top to see that the answer is going to give us 4 here from this function. So it just actually depends with what syntax that you'd like to use, but short syntax would be good for you to use because it's cleaner and way more easier to read. Okay, so this is our first function. Let me comment this one out, and you can go ahead and try the next function that we have. Okay, here it is. So here we have a function, a ESI function that says double function get parameter n, return n, we give a parameter times 2. So the function is double, that's why it's saying times 2 here. We have to double each and every given number that is going to be put here as n. So here, if we say alert double 3, it means this 3 right here is going to represent n. 3 times 2 equals to 6. But because this is an alert, it's not a console.log, which is going to show up in the console. An alert is kind of like a pop-up thing. Let me set this first so you can see it on top. Says 6 here. This is our number. If we're to come here and change this number 3 and put 8 right here, you'll see 16 plus 8 times 2, which is equals to 16. So to write this function as an arrow function, we'll come here before. We want to change this function into an arrow function. So we say let double equals n, the parameter here, which was being given in the first is function, is equals to, what do you want to do is like n multiplied by 2. Okay, so you're saying cannot read declare block, also we have the same block right here. So let me just comment this one out so you can see. Let double is equals to n. N is the parameter. What do we want to do? This is what like we actually write inside the code. We want to say n times 2. So if we come here and just write alert dot, we write the double that we have, and then we give it a given number. Of example, we'll give it 6, which is supposed to bring up 12. So you say 6 times 2 is equals to 12 here from our given function. So it is the same thing as the one. So let double is the same as here, but instead of us writing function n, as this is already an anonymous function, so we just put n here, which is going to represent our parameter. So the same thing after this arrow, the function arrow, we have to tell our console what to do. So here we're telling it n times 2 If we, for example, to change this number to 4 and self 16 by 4, it's supposed to, okay, wait a second. If we change this number to 4 and you say double 6, if we say for call, it's going to give us 24 right here. Both 6 times 4 is 24. So yeah, that was all for arrow function. I hope you guys like this video about arrow functions and you got a little bit of understanding of what they are. If you'd like to see more of this content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.